And we are back, and we just finished Studio Ghibli's From Up on Poppy Hill from 2011. This is rated PG with a runtime of 1 hour and 31 minutes. This we caught on Max, but it is also to buy rent on Prime Video. This is directed by Gorô Miyazaki, with writing credits to Tetsurô, Sayama, HayaoMiyazaki, and Keiko Niwa. This is the story of Umi, a young girl who is living with her grandmother and I guess
or at a boarding house.
At a boarding house. And she is like the surrogate adult in the situation because she is busy taking care of everybody. Everybody. Including the boarders in her grandmother's boarding house. And her young siblings. And going to school. That kid's got a lot on her plate.
This girl's making them breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and doing the laundry all at the same time. And she
with the help of a very part-time helper. It seems like she's not. The other lady wasn't there all the time, right?
She also had to clean the house.
You kids are living your best lives. I hope you understand that.
Yeah, we got to put you kids to work.
There are child labor laws. I refuse to do anything.
I want you kids cooking food that looks as good as the crap that the Umi was making.
She was doing all that of her own free will.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, her little sister and brother weren't forced to help out.
Yeah. Was she doing it of her own free will? Or maybe she felt the responsibility being the eldest.
Maybe that's it, but no, like, she didn't have to do that.
This is
I doubt the grandmother was going to make dinner.
But there were other adults in the house.
There were, and yet nobody pitched in.
Yeah. So
that's crazy.
She did all of it. She clearly could have stopped and someone else would have picked up for her.
This is like mid-'60s Japan. There was definitely off-screen some beatings going on when the kids were younger.
I'm assuming at like I'm guessing the story starts in 63 because they're anticipating the 64 Olympics in Tokyo. So
yeah.
Again, this is the story of Umi, a young girl who is basically everyone's parent at this point. Her father is lost at sea, I guess presumed dead. Her mother has left to go to America for school or something.
Yeah, I forgot was she learning physics or something?
I don't know what
they just said that she went to America to study.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like she couldn't do that in Japan. I don't know. Whatever.
I guess not.
So then from there, the next thing you see is this boy jumping off a roof.
Yeah, Shun, right?
Shun.
Yeah, Shun does a daredevil stunt, I guess, to get
dirty pool
to get like people talking about preserving the clubhouse,
which
and
is
he
like,
literally jumps. Was it because they just pulled like a storm grate off the thing, so it looked like he just dumped into dirty like sewer stormwater.
It did. How she touched him after that is beyond me. I would have been like...
And how she was able to eat after that was insane.
Yeah.
Shun played by the late Anton Yelchin. And from here, I guess this is like a coming-of-age story, right? Like a teen coming-of-age story.
Definitely a teen coming-of-age story. From what I read, it's also talking about Japan moving into...
more modernization,
modernity, and you know, trying to, I guess, impress the world with the Olympics.
Right.
Especially, I guess this was especially important because, I mean, World War II is 20 years prior.
So they're still trying to build themselves up after the bomb in Hiroshima. So I guess, but you still have pockets of traditionalists, much like Shun, who very much are tethered to traditions in the past and are vehemently defending preserving the clubhouse, which is sort of like, it's so funny. A couple of weekends ago, I was watching Animal House, which it kind of reminded me, like the house there. It was just in such god awful shape.
Definitely some Delta House vibes, minus the massive drug and alcohol abuse.
Yes, a naughty business. Yeah. I'm gonna go around the table and get impressions. Olive G, I'm gonna start with you. What did you think of the film?
That was good.
Yeah, what'd you like about it?
I really like anything particular about it. It's a nice movie to watch, like, for fun.
Okay. You actually came up with a...
wild theory.
fair, but still completely plausible because at some point it felt like that's the direction the story was going to go in that direction. What made you say that?
No, because like I was thinking about like the story and how like I don't know why my mind came to this conclusion, but it's like, what if they're secretly brothers and a brother and sister and they fall in love with each other? And when they do find out, they continue with their relationship. And it's like, yo, that would be crazy.
Yeah, that would
Gross.
be. I mean, at that point, if they found out, you would assume that they would break it off, right?
Yeah, but like I thought they would like continue their relationship because I thought it would be like one of those types of animes.
One of those types of animes.
Yeah, like one of the weird freaky ones where there's like incest and
you
stuff
know
like
what?
that.
There's a lot of weird anime out there.
There's a lot of weird anime out there, absolutely. But yeah, this is Studio Ghibli, so it would never venture into that. And there is a sequence in the film where he basically says to her, the reason I've not been nice or friendly with you is because I'm your brother.
Yeah.
Your dad is my dad.
There is the threat of potential incest.
I mean, they never like officially started like dating and stuff like that.
Right. But
No,
I mean,
no.
back then,
There's not
in
even- there's-
64,
yeah,
it's like
there's-
holding hands or smiling at each other is like half of
Yeah,
the
I mean,
marriage
everybody
proposal.
else.
That's the equivalent of making out with each other.
It seemed like
Kind of.
everybody else was just totally convinced that they were. It's like, oh, those two are together.
Yeah.
And they didn't even like you said, hold hands or
No, they just
brush
smiled at each other.
shoulders. Even it's just like, oh, they stood next to each other, and they
She
smiled.
helped him out of dirty sewer water, and they stared at each other
Yeah.
for like a very uncomfortable minute.
Yeah.
Gee, what did you think of the film?
I didn't like it by the end.
Yeah. What
happened?
happened?
Did you like it in the beginning?
Yes, it started off nice and cute, and then there was the part where it was like, oh, you're like my sister. And then there's that scene where she's like, oh, I know there's nothing we can do to stop it, but I love you. And it just ruined the entire film.
But then you find out that that's not the case. Did it?
And it doesn't matter at that point because the movie's already been tainted.
No forgiveness, G?
No, I don't like plot lines like that. I feel like this movie would have been perfectly fine without that.
Well,
I really don't see why it was necessary to include that.
Well,
it
one
didn't further the plot at all.
Well, when she says, I know that this is going on, but I love you, do you feel like she was saying, I love you like I am in love with you, or I love you like you're important to me?
No, she was saying that she was in love with him.
Okay.
Like
So you in your mind, she was still thinking, let's hook up.
I don't know if she wanted to. I know that she felt that way, but I know that that's not the type of direction that a Ghibli movie would go into.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that when she says I love you, I think she means like you're important to me. Not that now that this has come to light.
that's what that's the impression that I got, that they had settled on, okay, this can't happen, but I still love you, rather as, you know, I still love you like you're important to me.
Right.
Rather than this can't happen, but I love you and
I'm willing to overlook familial ties.
Traditions be damned. We're getting all Game of Thrones in this.
Easy.
Honestly,
Easy.
I thought of it that way too. Like I thought like even if we're brother and sister, I still want to make out with you. Let's
Really?
get married.
Because then,
I didn't think of it like that.
I didn't think of that. I didn't think of it
that's
that
not
at
how
all.
I thought of it.
Yeah,
I thought they had come to terms with it.
right.
And-
Because he even says we have to stop thinking. And then afterwards she goes to the clubhouse and she talks to him like normal. Like, is there anything that you need from me? Oh, can you transcribe these pages? Okay.
Yeah.
And then that's it.
Yeah. It was just like a relationship of people who care, like friends.
Yeah.
You know, I love my friends.
Right.
I don't want to sleep with them.
Right. And I think that part of her was still disappointed because then you also have the dream
I
sequence
mean, yeah,
and she's crying and whatnot. I mean, this movie's from 2011, so I don't feel like I don't feel like I need to spoiler protect it, but I think that her confronting her mother about it was very important.
Yeah.
And then the mother reaching out to, I guess, the adoptive father.
Yeah.
And having that conversation.
Well, I mean, because even the mom got some doubt put in her when she's like, well, does he look like your dad?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, yeah, kind of. But then again, it's an anime.
Yeah.
I mean, virtually everybody looks like
everybody else. Yeah.
The guy with the glasses could have been their brother.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. What did you think of the film?
I thought it was okay. I was really bored in the beginning. I would probably say, I think we paused it for a minute, and we were at like the 45-minute mark or 50-minute mark, and I was just like, I want something to happen.
Right.
And then like right after that, it was just like, oh yeah, there might be some incest going on. I was just like,
a weird way for the story
I was
to go.
just like, wow, that took a
weird
wild turn. I thought it was just about, hey, let's save the Civic Center or whatever that building was called. Let's save the clubhouse from the evil developers. I thought it was going to be like,
the Legend of Billie Jean or something.
Like every 80s movie where like the gaggle of kids bands together to save the rec center.
Yes, exactly.
But
exactly.
Then suddenly it's just,
we might be brothers.
Yeah.
In the words of Olive G, plot twist.
Yeah, that's a hell of a plot twist. So that sort of rekindled my interest in the movie, but yeah, the beginning of the movie, you like the characters, but man, it's kind of a drag.
I guess it's pacing, right?
Yeah, it just took a long time to get off the ground.
But it's not just inherent to this film. I feel like a lot of Japanese stories, Tokyo Story's on my list of things to watch, and that movie also takes its sweet ass time getting to where it's going.
That's Ozu, right? Yeah,
I
don't think I've seen an Ozu film that I was able to watch or really enjoy because the pacing is so slow in all of them.
Really?
I haven't seen Tokyo Story yet. You keep raving about it.
I can't believe you haven't seen it. Didn't you watch it with me?
No, never.
All right, we're gonna have to get that on the.
But I've seen other ones, and was fighting sleep and lost.
Well, let me preface this by saying that much like most of Ozu's work, it takes its time getting there. But I think the themes and the messaging in that film are just really beautiful and really wonderfully handled. And the script...
Are we talking about this movie?
I'm talking about Tokyo Story. I'm taking a U-turn for just 1 minute. So the script is just... It's not like an Altman movie. There's not like constant talking and whatever, but I think that the way the story fleshes out and from start to finish, you really get put into this mood. And here too, in this film, I don't know if it's like a cultural thing, but I feel like not all Japanese films, but in a lot of Japanese cinema, it really, especially in movies of like the 50s and stuff like that, 40s, 50s maybe, they really... It's almost like this quiet storytelling to get to, and I think a lot of their movies, like Ozu movies, they don't deal with like these scandalous topics. It's just about everyday people and everyday life situations. And I think that also plays into this film because it's about a young woman who has a burden. I mean, she is a young girl, but she's expected to be this adult who takes care of everyone, but who takes care of Umi. And it's like,
that's what she's sort of looking for with the flags. She wants to hopefully bring her dad back, but in the arc of the story, it's, as she says, it's like my dad couldn't come back,
right?
So he brought you to me,
right?
Meaning this will be somebody that will help take care of Umi,
right?
Who will be with Umi, who will stand by her side through all of this stuff that's coming with the changes that the world, her and Japan are going through at this particular point in history.
Right. But I think also as you grow up, changes happen. Like the person that you are at 8 isn't the person that you are at 16. And it's certainly not the person that you are at 24 or 36 or 48 or whatever, right? So I think that is the natural progression of life. Things change. They don't always stay the same. And she dreams about her parents in a previous time. Her dad was there, like, oh, help me with the flags. Her mother was there cooking, and she's like, oh, I've been here the whole time. And she really needed that because she's still a young girl, and to put this burden on her to be the caretaker of everyone is just not realistic, and it's kind of unfair. But this is how the society works, right?
Yeah, she's thrust into the caretaker role, and she steps up to it.
Yeah,
which is interesting for her character.
She definitely has this strong sense of loyalty and commitment where she does that. But it's interesting because culturally, you and I, like growing up, I don't know that we would have done these things. Maybe.
Not really. Yeah.
To an extent, I did because I was the translator, so there was that burden. But still, I was very selfish as a young person. So I think in these societies where family is very important, not that they're not in our society, but it means more, and there's more of an impact here where you have young people, like you said, rising to the occasion and taking on that mantle of responsibility and early adulthood. So it's kind of an interesting snapshot because I think that this definitely showcases what the culture is like in that moment in time, but also, I guess, throughout the years. I mean, I'm sure with time, since 1964, a lot of Japan and Japan's youth have changed, right? So they might have a more westernized view of responsibility and family and stuff like that. But in this moment in time, this is how it was. I sort of agree with you that it felt long in the beginning, but I still really liked this film a lot.
I liked it. It was just the pacing was slow. Like that to me, that's going to mark it down in my book. They could have picked up the pace a little instead of 40 minutes in, introduce some plot points 20 minutes in. It's just like I said. I didn't hate any characters. I don't know about hate,
but I really just didn't understand why the mother needed to go to America to study. That's sort of really annoyed me, and especially if her husband was lost at sea, presumed dead. It's like, why wouldn't you be home with your children?
Yeah, you got to do what you got to do.
I mean, Umi couldn't have been more than 16, if that. Right? 14, 15, 16. She was like in that age group.
She was like a second year in high school, is that, I guess? So, yeah.
Yeah.
It's about 15, 16.
Yeah. That's crazy. All right. I'm going to go around the table and get numbers. I'm going to start with myself. I like this. It's nice to see like old Ghibli. Kind of, it's funny, we were looking at other things to watch and you see the progression of the animation and how it's advanced through the years. We were looking at trailers for 90s Ghibli's movies, early 2000 Ghibli movies, and into within the last 10 years. So it's kind of interesting to see how the Studio Ghibli has evolved as a production company and in the mastery of storytelling and animation. So this does, I agree with you, it does have a very slow sort of pacing, but I was still really invested in the movie. I really enjoyed the characters. I think I've said this in the past. I'm always heartbroken to hear Anton Yelchin's voice because he, in such a short amount of time, had such an incredible body of work, was such an interesting actor, and it's such a shame that he's no longer with us. So I am going to give this film a 7. What say you, Olive G? 1 to 10.
I'm gonna give this a 5. Like, I don't like the incest part. The whole, we might be brothers and sisters part of the movie.
All right. G?
So kind of knocked it down.
4.
Wow.
G is unforgiving. Don't mess with the G.
Why a 4, G?
I hate incest.
I mean, it's not something to be. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not something to be proud about.
Okay.
All right. Fair enough.
I'll agree with you there. Yes. I would give this a 6 probably. The threat of potential incest as a plot point didn't bother me. It actually gave the story some sort of interesting aspect. Was it 100% necessary? I don't know. It could have just been like finding the mystery of the kid's dad. I don't know. Because you also have to think they liked each other. They really liked each other. They didn't do anything. Mm-hmm. And the kid was Shun was taking himself away from her when he started to suspect that they may share the same dad. But he wasn't mean. It wasn't like you'd see in most things where something occurs and now
he's a jerk,
and now I just have to treat you like absolute shit, you know, because that's just the plot. He was just sort of not really talking to her.
Right.
So
but he did offer her an explanation. Like you
said, when she's like, "What's going on?"
Yeah.
No pussyfooting around, no nothing. It was just, "Hey, you see this photograph? It's the same photograph you got. Your dad's my dad."
Right.
And then they decide, okay, well, I guess we just have to be friends. We have this between us. And then by the very end, you find out the truth, and boom, credits. And they're together because you have like little scenes as the credits roll. But yeah, it's still a little weird because I guess for some people it's just like, well, we've shifted to this sort of friends mode.
Yeah.
We're just jumping back out of friends mode into more Romance, than friends mode. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know if that was absolutely necessary to the story. It did add some interest for me because otherwise it was a pretty dull, I guess, coming of age sort of movie. But I've seen plenty of coming of age movies that didn't involve potential incest.
Well, also, you know what's weird? So, wouldn't the birth certificate have the mother's name?
Yeah, you know what?
Father's name.
Who the hell?
She said that he adopted the baby.
Who really knows what's going on in post-war Japan?
Yeah, I guess.
I doubt the paperwork was 100%, accurate. On the button.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
So yeah, for me, it gets a 6. It was very pretty. We watched the dub version. Everybody's voice work was good. There's no over exaggeration. A lot of times, the English dub of an anime is terrible. It's always better to listen to it in the original Japanese with subtitles. But this didn't bother me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought they picked decent.
They picked decent people. They weren't overly, it's not, Beau Bridges wasn't doing his weird cowboy thing that he does now.
Yeah. Gillian Anderson sort of weebs.
Gillian Anderson disappears in everything. Aubrey Plaza, sorry.
Anson, Sarah Bolger is Umi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, it's a 6. This isn't one that I don't think this is one of the Ghibli films that anybody is like, oh, you gotta see Poppy Hill. It's freaking awesome.
I think it's pretty much Spirited Away. It's My Friend Totoro.
Yeah.
And what else?
Spirited Away and My Neighbor Totoro is like the most popular ones. Right?
Spirited Away is the best one I've seen.
Yeah, Spirited Away, I think it's of all the Ghiblis that I've seen is still my favorite.
What about everybody else?
Boy and the Heron on the docket.
Who's your favorite Ghibli?
Spirited Away, easy.
You
I don't know. I like Spirited Away, but I also like My Neighbor Totoro.
That's cute too.
That was cute as well. Yeah.
I like
Kiki's
Totoro.
Delivery Service.
Kiki's is cute.
Kiki's is like Spirited Away is my favorite, but Kiki is top 3.
Yeah. I also like Howl's.
Howl's was all right.
I liked it.
It was interesting to look at, but I don't know if I was 100% on board.
I know your favorite is Ponyo.
Oh God. Talk about bad mothers. At least this mother was just off learning something. The mother in Ponyo was a menace.
Yeah.
Oh my God, she could have killed so many people. And everybody's just like,
I still get the chills just thinking about that story. Ay. All right, let's wrap it up. 4, 5, 6, 7.
Look at that.
I think half the table says watch it, half the table says nah. It's up to you. If you want to get on it, you can. If not, I mean, it's only an hour and 36, so you make the choice. And with that, we are going to bid everyone a
Good night.
Good night.
Good night.